Evening. Welcome to Talking Politics. I'm your host this evening, Mia Scanga, and tonight you're going to be meeting 3 of the 4 candidates who are running for the Jersey City Board of Ed. As you know, the elections for Board of Ed are now in November with the general election. So this year it's November 3rd, and the polls are open from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. If you haven't registered to vote or you need to change your address, you have until October 12th, and you can download the forms on the Hudson County Board of Election website. If you do wait till the last minute, you'll have to do it in person, and they do keep late hours towards the deadline. So this evening, you're going to be meeting with Gina Verdibello, Vidya Gangadin, and Marilyn Roman. 2 of them are incumbents, and what's kind of interesting is that there are 4 candidates for 3 seats, which is amazing because we've had as many as like 17 candidates for the same number of seats, and the terms are for 3 years each. So why don't we start with you, Gina? Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're running?
Sure. So I'm a parent advocate, and I also have 3 children that attend PS 17. Been very active at attending many board meetings, speaking at many board meetings, and not just at the board meetings, but at the state level and at the city. And so I've been very active this year, attending, speaking out against park testing, Common Core. I've been very involved in what's going on in this district. I've pushed for trailer evaluation. I've pushed for many things that are very important to me and that I think are going to be good for the children of the city.
Okay, terrific. Vidya?
My name is Vidya Gangadin. My ballot position is 3D. I am a parent and a current board member. I have 4 children, 2 of whom attend Jersey City Public Schools. My professional background is I'm a financial analyst. I was elected to the Jersey City Board of Education in 2012 and currently serve as the board president. I am the chair of the Finance Committee for the Jersey City Board of Education and a member of the advisory board for the Innovation High School. The reason why I'm running for a second term is because we have made a lot of progress within the district. And I strongly feel that we need to monitor those progress. And first, we need continuity on the board. Second, based upon the accomplishments that we have made, and personally, I take that very personally in bringing the negotiations of the contracts to a close, presenting a balanced budget with no layoff despite flat funding, and advocate for opportunities for family in the creation of Innovation High School. I think these are very important things for Jersey City families. And with Marilyn Roman, John Riker, and myself, I think we bring a wealth of knowledge, experience, leadership, and a vision to continue the progress in Jersey City Public Schools.
All right, Marilyn?
My name is Marilyn Roman, and I'm a lifelong resident of the city of Jersey City. Went all the way through the public schools, number 33, 24, Lincoln High School. I taught in the district for 32 years, and I administered there as well. I was responsible for writing the first pre-grant for the people who are interested in having their children go to preschool, and it's a very successful program at this time. I also have worked with the Education Business Alliance, and we have created many programs in the school district. I would like to be able to see those go forward and to expand. I think that there are many, many more things that have to be done in this district. We have not finished our work, and I would very much like to be able to go on with my running mates in order to be able to do that.
All right, fine. Now, Marilyn, this is your second term, so what would you consider, in your first term, what was your greatest accomplishment? What are you most proud of?
I think the fact that we started to get the vocational education program back on its feet because it had been just dwindling there. And we need to have an education program for all of the children of Jersey City. So we now have an ad hoc committee where we are working to increase the number of programs and to expand those programs. And that is one of the things that I think I did in our first term and will continue to do in the second term should I be elected.
Okay. Vidya? And you're the council president, correct?
The board president.
Board president, right.
So, when we got elected in 2012, I chaired a finance committee and I partake in the discussion of the budget process, which I'm very familiar with, and presenting balanced budget despite flat funding and no layoffs. That's one of the things that I have accomplished. Advocating for a new STEAM school, Jersey City First STEAM School, which is Innovation High. We collaborate with NJCU. The closing of the negotiations. Collectively, through my chairing of the Finance Committee, we advocate for the Infinity Campus. It's an online portal where parents are kept involved on their child's grade, which is something that the other districts were doing for a long time, and Jersey City Public School was lacking that, not waiting until the end for a parent to finally get the grades of their child. And I think that was very important. Another thing that I champion is the online portal for CASPER payment and for the Morning Stars. Being the president of the Jersey City Board of Education, it's always been the discretion of the board president to videotape public comments, which I know that was a major issue. I think we're getting past the
accomplishments here. We're going to run out of time.
Because there's so many accomplishments that we have made. I mean, I think we did a great deal of work, and we want to continue that work.
Okay. Now, Gina, you haven't been on the board, and you're obviously running as an independent, because I think Vidya mentioned that there are three of you on one ticket, and John Reichart, who I invited by email and called his cell phone, never got a response. Which I always find a little amazing because there are so few avenues to kind of get to know candidates, but not uncommon. It happens every year. What would you like to accomplish once you're a board member?
Many things I'd like to accomplish. I feel that as being a parent advocate, I'm on the ground. I'm at these schools. I'm talking to parents. I'm getting the issues, and I'm trying to understand where you're not finished doing things in this district. There are a lot of things that could be done better, and I am very unhappy with things, and there are things that I'm happy with, but for the most part, when I do find something that I want to push for, I think I get it done. I think like I said, I pushed for the trailer evaluation report because I asked the question, I Oprah'd twice, how old these trailers were. 30 years is a very long time to have trailers for pre-K kids. A great program with crappy, trailers to have these kids in. And not just so much the kids, but the teachers that are being in those classrooms and are exposed to who knows what, and we don't know what, because I don't even know if we're even told about the air quality and certain things in those trailers and the rodents that I keep hearing about. And my children go to these schools, and they go to these trailers, and they learn in these trailers. So not saying that I think the teachers are great. I've always been a big advocate of the teachers. I fought for their contract as well. This is the third time I'm running because I'm very persistent, and I don't give up, and I'm very involved in parent council. I'm very involved with I have a Girl Scout troop that I'm trying to educate and get girls to be leaders and fight for what they think is right.
Okay. All right, fine. Now, the budget is $665 million. I saw the budget is available online. There's a user-friendly version. So if you go to the school's website, look under departments, then look under finance, you'll find last year's, this year's, I think even previous years. So you'll see that we're almost at 37,000 students here. And the increase seems to be in the pre-K, especially the 3-year-olds, which are contracted out, as well as the increase in the chartered schools. Only because you're not on the board, on the board currently. And there's also been an article in the Jersey City Reporter that the board had a study done, and they're going to increase. They're looking at a 7,000 shortfall in the number of seats. How do you think we're going to resolve that? I mean, any thoughts on that? Maybe I'll just open that up at this point on the shortfall of 7. And they're talking about 2018. That's only 3 years from now. Mm-hmm. Has the board come up with a plan for that? And like you mentioned, funding is flat. The state has they're looking for ways to cut their funding. I mean, there's discussion with all their pension problems. Right. So, and right now they fund really the majority of the budget. I think it's over $450 million. So how are we going to get out of this problem?
I think the first thing we have to do is to start talking about it.
Right.
That's not happening on a board level. And those are things that we need to press the district with regard to that. Because we do have a demographic study, and it does show what you said.
Right.
However, I have heard nothing in any of our meetings about plans for what the district is going to do about that, because they certainly know what needs to be done.
Right.
The question then is, what kinds of things can we do? Some things had been said about developers using the first floor for the preschools and so on. That needs to be looked at. A whole lot of things need to be looked at. We do have some space in some of the schools. 39 School, for instance, is not at full capacity. And there's a need in that area. So we really need to be able to go forward to see what we can do. We need to press the SDA as well. At the state
now,
level.
who is the SDA?
That's a school funding program for schools.
Because right now the state,
yes, and they are not quick to do any of this. They will not let you do a whole lot of renting. At the same time, you can't buy. I mean, there's so many rules that we need to have something happen in that area so that we can do what we have to do, and they need to help us.
Right.
I mean, they required the preschools. It was the state who said we must have preschools.
Right.
So now they must fund them, I think.
Well, they do. From what I've heard, they fund 100% for the 3 and the 4-year-olds. They do that. But like a lot of the chartered schools are buying up the Catholic schools.
Yes.
So I don't understand why the Board of Ed wasn't in there too. I mean, the increase in the number of students just from last year to this year projected on that user-friendly budget, I think is 775 students. That's almost the size of a school, isn't it?
That's right.
Yeah. So if I may interject in regards to the capacity issue. So what the district did over the summer is that they created a committee to evaluate the demographic study.
When you say the district, you're talking about the actual administration.
The administration.
Okay.
They created a committee to analyze the demographic study, and through the demographic study, there will be some rezoning plan that will be in place so that the capacity level will be utilized. Because again, Marilyn said some schools are not being utilized. So based upon the rezoning,
it's a zoning issue?
Yes, it's a zoning issue, and so with the rezoning plan, every school will be used, the capacity level will be utilized. And so that may level out some of it. And again, the SDA, we're in contact discussion with SDA. As we all know, our buildings are, of age. So those are some of the things that the district level is looking at. In terms of the board, it's a discussion that the board needs to be involved in also.
I think that she's absolutely right about that.
May I
The
also-
fact that the district is looking at that doesn't mean that they've given that information to the board.
Right.
And that's what I think needs to happen. Now, Vidya's probably just gotten that information, and we haven't had a meeting for her to discuss it with us.
Right.
But we need to do that.
Okay,
Yes.
and Gina?
Well, I've also attended a whole lot of school development authority meetings, and I've asked about pre-K building space, and I was told that we do not have money for that. They do not fund pre-K spaces. They only fund K through high school, and so the question was asked a few times, and there isn't any money to build any more schools. The schools we have now are the ones that we're in the process for a few years. So right now we're kind of at this point where we have what we have. That's why I've been fighting with the trailers, because I would like to see expansions on our buildings. I would like to see. I don't want to go into these developments. I don't want to give the developers any more money. I'd like to see our pre-K turned into maybe private buildings within the zone with their own security, with their own playground, and their own, because they are separate in some cases. They are in a separate location. They don't have, in my eyes, I don't feel like they have the full security that they should have. I mean, let's take 41 for example. This guy knocks on the door, comes in.
Wait a minute, where's 41?
On Martin Luther King.
Okay.
No, Ocean.
Ocean Ave.
But in that area, and he goes in and he is high and he locks himself in a bathroom. So to be honest, like I said, I think that the security is a big issue for me. And, I think that it's time to start fixing what we have. And especially with the new buildings that we have, you have to keep maintaining what you have. You use it as your house. Your house is, you maintain it. If you don't maintain it, it will go down. And so we have a lot of old buildings, and we need to, because that's what I've been looking at. I've been looking at buildings. I get into many schools, and I see lots of issues that could be fixed, and for easy things. I mean, people tell me things, which is very sad. When you have to be told that there aren't bathroom stall doors on our bathrooms, that's sad. These are very simple things that could be done, and paint chipping.
But that won't increase the capacity. But that's definitely a maintenance issue.
We're not, and the state says we're not at capacity. That's what they said, because that's why these children are bused all over the place. You want to send your kid to your neighborhood school.
Right.
You don't want to have to send them all over the city.
Right.
And the thing is that people want to send their kids to the good schools too.
Right.
And they don't. So they'll travel to 5, and they'll travel to 16, maybe if their school is failing. But at the same time, people want the dual language program. They like that. And they like smaller class sizes where kids are going to be with the same kids every year. These are things that they like. So we need to implement more programs that we can attract our families to go to their schools. They don't want to go to certain schools because the kids are being bullied. They don't want to send their kids to some of these schools because they're not the best of the crop.
Right. I saw that there was a recent study or a parent organization put together a guide on the various schools. That's a nationwide problem. It seems like the increase is going more towards the 3-year-olds and the 4-year-olds, as well as the chartered schools. I think they added 2 new chartered schools, and the chartered schools seem to be, taking over the Catholic schools in terms of the buildings and what have you. So maybe the state is relying on them, but the 3 and 4-year-olds is definitely an issue. And here in Jersey City, it's a free program. So the other question, as well as the state pulls out and cuts back on funding, and in the suburbs and even other poor areas in New Jersey where the parents have to pay, whether, all of these really upper middle class people are going to continue to come to Jersey City looking for that free 3 and 4-year-old program. And I do want to mention that there is a bill that was introduced in the Assembly Bill 4440 by a assemblyman from, I think, Gloucester County, and it's about tax abatements. And that future tax abatements, if this bill should pass the Assembly and go on to the Senate, whereas a percentage would go to the county and 5% already does, but some of it would go to the schools. So, which is really necessary. Right now, the tax abated properties pay nothing towards the schools. So what are your thoughts on, how active does the board get involved with, these tax abatements and looking at the funding stream coming in? I mean, what are your thoughts as a private citizen?
Well, obviously, I would rather not see charter schools take over what our public schools are doing. I'm pro-public parent. I mean, I know charters are public as well, but I think there are some really good charter schools, and I think it's nice that there are options for our parents to choose from. And but it's true, we're not. I think we could be receiving more money, especially because we do take every child. We do take every child with special needs. We're very, we have expensive, every child has a different amount that that we have to take, and, we can't not take any, we have to take every child. So, at the charter schools, they have that option to limit how many they can take. And so, like I said, I'd like to see the schools get more money. Why not? Like I said, we have to take everyone. So
right. No, I understand. And what about, has the board been involved and expressed some anger at the mayor? Because, they gave a 30-year tax abatement in Hamilton Park, one of the most expensive real estate areas in Jersey City. 30 years for a couple of units of affordable housing that lasts for 10. and I went to talk about some other tax abatements. It's always the same 4 or 5 of us, and that's it. I don't understand why the board is not involved in saying, listen, folks, the state is cutting back on our funding. They're talking about it now. We need tax, especially when a lot of the demand for 3 and 4-year-olds is from the downtown area.
So it is a major issue, absolutely, and no denial about that. But I think the board was more focused on other major issues that were affecting the district from 2012 to present. Marilyn and I, leadership on the board, we have tackled a lot of the heavy lifting issues. And I think if reelected, we will be able to work through and set up an ad hoc committee to look into the tax abatements that are giving out by the city council, absolutely. And I think that's one of the things that's considered another issue that we need to really look into.
Well, you better look soon because, the state funds $450 million. If they start slashing it by $50-70 million a year, that's going to be it's going to be taken up by the regular taxpayers. So it'll be catastrophic. So being proud of a flat budget is going to be nothing compared to having to slash your budget.
Yeah,
I know that's a very big problem. However, I think that right now, in a $665 million budget, there have to be some places where we can cut the budget and reorder our funds so that we can provide for the things that we truly believe are necessary. And preschool in this school district is very necessary. We need to be able to bring children into the district and to be able to help them to understand the basic foundations of learning so that when they come into the kindergarten and farther up, they are prepared for school. And most of the people, or many of the people who live in this city, are not able to afford a 3-year-old program. Were we to cut that as a free program. So we need to look at the budget we have, no matter what that budget is, and to begin to determine what our priorities are and where we should be looking to be able to say, this is important and we need to do it. There are so many things. I think Gina spoke about, a room in some of the schools. The problem with the room in some of the schools is that it's not in the right place. For instance, there's not a great need at 41 School.
Which is where again?
Which is on Ocean and Wilkinson. I taught there for about 12 years. The need is not there, but it is in other sections of the city. So we have to look. I think having us add on to schools, if we can get the money for that, is a very good idea. Mm-hmm. But if we have room right on the property of the schools, and we have done that in some places, 6 schools have done it. A number of the schools have done that. But there may not be enough room in some places, so we have to look elsewhere. We've taken over older schools like the old 17, and they've made that into an early childhood school as well. And but still, that's part of 23 School. 23 School, with all of the facilities they have, still has the bus.
Yeah.
That's where we have to look for what options do we have and where will we spend our money.
Okay, where's 23 again?
That's over on Romaine Avenue and Broadway.
In Broadway.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And Duncan.
Oh, and Duncan. Oh, all right. Okay, that's interesting that they'd have the bus. All right. Now, what about the whole controversy over the Golden Door Charter School? And now I just read a recent article. The mayor, Philip, is that being turned into a chartered school?
No, county.
Oh, a county school. Oh, all right. I wasn't sure. Okay.
It's their 6th, 7th, and 8th grade
It's
program.
the Explore 2000.
Oh,
Yes.
all right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the funding for that program comes out of the county budget?
County budget, yes.
Oh, all right. Okay, because I know some of the parents were really upset that that wasn't being used for pre-K, and that was a whole controversy. But anyway, Marilyn, why don't we start with you? Why don't you tell us, why should people vote for you for a second term?
I think I am dedicated to this office. I worked as an educator for 43 years. All of it in the Jersey City Public Schools or in Jersey City. I was an 8th grade teacher in the parochial school system for 5 years, but I spent about 14 of my Jersey City experience in classrooms, all the way from grade 3 to grade 8. And then I went on to work as a supervisor, so I've been into the classrooms to see how most of my time is spent looking at the programs that we have. And I am always very vocal about looking at programs that they have presented to us and implemented within a 3-year period. And if after 3 years they cannot tell us that that program has been successful and has done a good job, I think we need to get rid of them, or we have to tweak them, or if they're good, we have to spread that information throughout the entire school district. Okay. So those are the reasons why I'd like to continue, because that work is not nearly done.
Okay, Vidya?
So as a parent and as a board member, I think we can clearly say we know the challenges that our parents, our family, the support staff, and the community faced every day. We also need to monitor the progress that we have made on the board level, and I think the continuity is very important to monitor that progress. Number two is based upon our accomplishments. I think we have made a lot of progress again, and based on the accomplishments personally, as chair of the finance committee and as board president, together with Marilyn as being the vice president. Thirdly is, which is very important, it's always good to keep the students, their families, the community, the support staff, to keep them as the best interests and to make the decisions that will be in the best interest of our community, Jersey City community. Okay. Education matters, and we bring a wealth of knowledge, again, experience and leadership and a vision to the board to move it forward.
Okay. Gina, who is our independent?
Yes. Well, speaking of being independent, I answer to myself, and I make decisions that are my own, and I won't, I'm very active in the community as well, and I'm very active in the attending board meetings and speaking out on issues, not just on facilities, but just in general, anything. The fact that food wasn't delivered on the first day of school, things that affect our children every day. The reason I'm running is because I never stopped running. I just kept going. I ran with the children's first team last year with Lorenzo Richardson, Gerald Lyons, and I'm a part of that puzzle that needs to be on this board. I've been pushing for better for our children. We deserve better. These schools have so much potential and great teachers and great kids. But I just feel like I could do so much more if I can have a chance to do it. And I am. I'm willing to work. I'm a stay-at-home parent that really does care about every child in this city, whether they attend public, private, charter, or being homeschooled. I take it to heart. I'm very passionate, and I'd like to just have a chance to show you that what I can do.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I do want to mention, because some people aren't aware of this, that it is a volunteer position. I mean, you get elected, but there is no compensation. So it's truly an act of love. And it's a tremendous amount of time from what I've heard from other board members. So it's wonderful that you're interested in slugging it out for more time. So once again, the election is Tuesday, November 3rd. Please vote. And also, we stream our shows off of YouTube. Do a search by anyone's name. And it'll stream indefinitely off of talkingpolitics.net. And of course, it's on Comcast Channel 51 and also in the Meadowlands. But I do want to make one comment. There is a referendum item on the ballot. Please vote no. The issue, Mayor Fulop wants to change the municipal budget from May to November. The excuse is saving money, which is nonsense, as he gives away more 30-year tax abatements. And it's really just an insurance policy. So if he doesn't win the primary for governor, he can run for mayor. Vote no, please. It'll set a really negative precedent. So thank you very much, and thank you for watching Talking Politics. Good night.